Hey guys, so welcome to this little quick demo I'm gonna do. Tutorial, I guess. This is just a quick breakdown of my workflow. I don't think it's anything special, but it does seem to lend itself pretty well to TV animation, where you get to a result in Spline really quick, and from there you can build on top the more time you have. I've just couple of keys here to show you to work with, so I don't have to spend time doing those. Basically, it's a guy who's listening to a guy off screen who's talking, and he goes, "Huh? What?" Let's look. Huh? What? Huh? What? So what I usually do is to just copy the previous key closer to the next key, and you can do that by just click, if you have the frame counter here, and you just middle mouse click over here and hit S with all your controllers selected, it will copy that. And I do that with both keys. And let's just do an end frame. And I always start with 4 frames between each key, and then I do a play blast, so I just have an idea of what it looks like. For this shot, you may notice I said, "Huh? What?" And so that kind of the rhythm I'm going for. So a slow beginning, then a fast what transition. So that's not what we have now. Obviously, it's very even. So that's the first thing I'm gonna fix. Just gonna give this a lot more frames and give this just 2 frames. Huh? What? Huh? What? So already there we have a sort of a feeling for the rhythm of the shot. Now it's time to make it move in a way that makes sense. Basically what I want from this is I want anticipation, and then I want the movement, and then I want to settle, and then in between the movement I want a breakdown. So I'm just going to set a key here. So now we have 3 keys that's the same, and I always key the whole character at this stage. So at this frame is now going to be my anticipation. So an anticipation for this, I'm not a big fan of anticipations that do the exact opposite of where it's going to end. I like when some parts start to move and then other parts sort of drag in the opposite direction to make a nice sort of flow. So I have my tween machine here, which I always use. So I'm just gonna go maybe to this. So now we have this. Let's get this with us as well. And then if you hold down Alt and you use your arrow keys, in whatever view you have active, you can see a little gray line there. It basically moves your controller with the arrow keys, but in plane of the camera. So I can just move it down a little bit. Let's close his eyes. I'm just gonna go really fast here so I don't waste your time with this. That's not really part of the tutorial, the posing here. Just get that. And I think I want to maybe more. Huh? Huh? What? Okay. So let's do the settle. Again, 4 frames. Select everything. 4 frames after. Key. Go back to the previous one, and let's select the root. And let's almost have it settle. Okay. Let's. I think now I have this, which is very slow, and then very long, and then this, which is short. I think I want to move this down here. It's pretty good. I think we could make this settle a little bit more here. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe drag the head a little bit so it sort of moves a little bit more than the rest of the body. Yeah, that's nice, right? Yeah. Okay, so time to do that on the other key. So let's go 4 frames back. And here he's moving forward and screen left. So my anticipation, I think I want, but he's also moving down, so I think I want left forward, but up. So we're just gonna nudge it a little bit in the right direction, then push it up. So that's nice, you got a arc there. Let's start to turn the head. And let's open up eyes. This might be, I don't know. Like I said, the actual pose I'm creating here is not really what it's about. It's more about how I'm coming to arriving at the destination. So I think for this movement, I want him to go into a nice sort of leading motion with the head. So I'm gonna go 4 frames after here. And this is always a little tricky to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I may look like an idiot now, but I can live with that. So we have that. Then if we move the hips down, that's sort of a nice motion there. And then if I move neck forward and the head down, we got a nice scoop up with the head. And I think looking at it now, 2 frames was nice in the beginning for us to get an understanding of that this motion had to be faster than this motion over here. But 2 frames is too little for me. So I'm just gonna move keys in both either direction. So now we have 4 frames instead. That seems a little better for me. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna do like a really cheap, slow settle here. So I'm just gonna copy this frame over to this. So now we have a nice soft settle here. So I'm gonna do a breakdown in between the anticipation and the key. So let's go do that. So I'm just gonna set a key here. And this is now where you as an animator need to decide, do you want to favor the previous or the next? I think I want to favor the previous. I think it would be nice if we kept this closed and drag the head a little bit. There we go. Oop. And let's do a breakdown here as well. Again, I want to favor the previous because we do have a nice long settle afterwards. I do want some things to arrive. I think I want the brows to really go down even before the eyes. We can like this because you have the brows coming down and then your eyes come in. And then I want, because I want the leading of the head, I'm gonna push neck and the head down. We got this kind of thing. Alright, so let's have a look. What? Huh? What? Okay, so let's get that quick lip sync in. I'm just gonna end here with, oops, sorry, this closed. Like usually I would do like a complete lip sync pass, Just gonna do something really quick here. Not that, that was this one. And then I wanted to settle a little bit. I think this 51 is where I want it to be open the most, and I think generally I want it to be open more than I have. What? I'm missing the ooh sound, but that's okay for now. Let's move on. So next detail pass I would do is I want a little head shake here. This is not super necessary, I guess, but it does add a little bit of movement because everything now kind of moves the same. And then it might be nice to have something, a little texture, I guess you could call it. So I'm going to demonstrate animation layers quickly for those of you who are not familiar with it. I find it very useful for something like this. So I'm just going to select my controller, go into animation layers, and click this, which will create a layer from the selected object. And always rename. Let's call it head shake anim layer. Okay, I'm gonna set a key here, and let's go to the final frame, set a key there. Let's find the rotation axis. This is this one. And one nice trick is if you select the curve, hold down I, click with middle mouse, and set the keys you want, like that. Just gonna quickly do like a ramping up, down, like what? And I think it can be bigger still. This should end at 0. Oops, let's just put it. What? So yeah, I don't know. Let's just keep it at this. I don't want this to be too long, but what? So the next thing I'm noticing we can do a little bit of work with the shoulders, I think. Like here, everything arrives the same here, except the head, but I do think just there. I do think the shoulders could potentially arrive a little bit later. And let's not move them down. Here, let's move them up. And let's make them settle up here as well. Huh? What? Huh? What? So another thing I'm noticing is the brows, they hit here. And then nothing happened, I think. Or we have a long settle, but I think just maybe do 3 frames. And then make them settle here. Huh? What? The next thing you would do is your that would be the polish phase probably. Let's go back to the base, and this is where you really track the nose always for make sure you have arcs. But this is also where you track something like hands. Definitely always hands and the nose to make sure that they move in arcs. Everything move in arcs, but you know you don't have time to fix everything. But the big extremities always easiest to spot when they don't move in arcs. So I think this really covers it basically. So it's a very simple workflow. You have your key, you copy the key, make the anticipation, the settle, the breakdown in between, and then you can add a little bit of texture on top. Make sure stuff doesn't arrive at the same time, but offset some things, and you're good to go. And so, thank you.